Well, once again, Iowa's economy is growing. Tax revenues are expected to be higher through the end of this fiscal year and the next fiscal year, but that doesn't mean lawmakers will be able to pay for every priority. KTIV's Matt Breen is at the state capitol tonight. He spoke with lawmakers today about their priorities this session. What'd you find out, Matt?
Stella, once again, Republicans have the majority in both the Iowa House and the Iowa Senate. Of course, they have their priorities. There are other issues that will get bipartisan support. The question now is, can they afford them all? 150 lawmakers and as many opinions of what to do with extra tax revenue a recent report says the state will see in fiscal years 2020 and 2021. Spend it or save it?
Both.
Senator Jim Carlin says some priorities need the revenue.
You know, there's some programs that we need around the state that need some better funding. Mental health needs better funding.
Unfortunately, most of it's probably already spent.
Spent to cover the big budget drivers of Medicaid, state wages, and education. More revenue, though, could come from a penny increase in the state sales tax.
If it does come down to a penny sales tax, which is going to be a hard sell for me personally, because I do find that regressive. It hurts those who can least afford it.
My goal is to make Iowa government not cost the citizen more this year than it did last year.
About half of that extra penny would fund water quality and outdoor recreation programs. The rest could help lower tax rates or accelerate the 2018 tax cuts that are designed to be phased in. Like last session, lawmakers will push for one of Governor Kim Reynolds' priorities, criminal justice reform, specifically restoring voting rights to felons.
I think there's just going to have to be a couple of areas where they're not going to restore them. You know, I know that a lot of people who are convicted of the murders, the kidnappings, the killing of children, there's a lot of sentiment that they should never vote again.
Iowa is the only state that forces felons to petition the governor to get their voting rights back after they complete their sentence.
I don't like the idea of giving a blanket restoration of felon voting rights. I think we have a system in place right now where on a case-by-case basis the governor can restore rights.
Lawmakers will likely push to fund the governor's Future Ready Iowa program as well. The goal? To make sure 70% of Iowa workers have training or education beyond high school by 2025.
What I see are people wanting to make a good life for their families, and Iowa sure needs workers, and we should support them.
Endless priorities and a limited 100-day session in which lawmakers have to work. Stella, lawmakers here in Des Moines will hear the governor's priorities tomorrow morning. Kim Reynolds set to deliver her condition of the state speech at 10 o'clock in the House chamber. When we spoke about an hour ago, the governor had just walked into the House chamber to rehearse for tomorrow's speech. Just a moment ago, she walked out. She had finished her rehearsal. She'll be back up at the podium tomorrow morning addressing 150 Iowa lawmakers at 10 a.m. Stella?